Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/secretspiceoflife. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Welcome to some shit that's considered legendary.
Hey, what is going on, you variety-loving people? Hope you had some spice to your day. Welcome back to Secret Spice of Life. We're your hosts. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Jordan.
And if you're new to the podcast, welcome. So I guess I got a question to open up the show. Would you be mine?
What?
Would you be
my neighbor?
My neighbor.
Oh my god! I thought you said would you be mine at first?
Nah. But the real question is, what if you went up to somebody and did this? What the fuck do you think they would do?
Wait, what did he tell them?
That's friend. It means friend.
When you lock your fingers.
Yeah. No, you don't lock each other's fingers.
No, I
Just
mean like your own
yeah.
fingers.
Yeah, the flap.
Or his own
like
pointer
that.
finger. Or index finger, whatever the
Index.
proper
yeah.
term is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know what I would do if I walked up to somebody and they did that. But
So-
he told him what it meant when he first did it, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
So it wasn't weird.
He said he said somebody that was like deaf. He said taught them the best word in sign language or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
But if you haven't figured it out, we're talking about a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Is that what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. But Mr. Fred Rogers.
Raj. His wife calls him Raj,
calls him Raj.
apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's actually true or if they just put that in the movie that she called him that.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
yeah, I mean, like, I didn't know how I was gonna feel about the movie. Like, I thought it was gonna be more of like a documentary type thing, and I thought it was gonna be like kind of like boring or whatever. Like they weren't really gonna go in depth about him or whatever.
Yeah.
And it didn't. I don't think they really went that in depth about his life, but I like the way that they showed it from a perspective of how he how he rubbed off on someone else.
Yeah.
Or how he impacted somebody else's life.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed that more than I would have them just telling a story about him.
I wonder if there's anybody that Mr. Rogers met that didn't like him. I feel like Mr. Rogers, like, just how, intimate. I don't like to use the word intimate, but, like, he's, like, really intimate in conversations. It's, like, all about, like, you and, like, that moment. Like, he's really, like, into people. He's, like, curious about people and he cares about people.
Uh-huh.
And, like, I feel like Mr. Rogers would be a really hard person to hate, like.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, his manager said that he's like, Fred likes everybody, but he loves people like you. He said to the to the interview guy, and because he's like a person that looks at the world as like a narcissistic from a narcissistic point of view.
Yeah. And he said Mr. Rogers read every piece of material that they could find on him. Mr. Rogers is probably like
he's a freaking private investigator.
Yeah, he's like he gets obsessed with like people.
Oh my gosh, dude. He's like, oh, let me take a picture of you.
Yeah, he's like, oh, Joanne's gonna love these. He probably has him hanging like all over his walls.
Every person he's ever met, he has a picture.
Yeah,
of.
that's funny.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine that you met somebody. They're like, oh, can I take a picture of you?
So this movie was about a true like interaction that he had with somebody, or did they just say that? Like when it says based on a true story, it doesn't mean these exact events actually happened. They could have just said
like the roundabout.
Like this is what happened with some person that he met.
Yeah.
Something along these lines. This is what he did to impact different types of people. Like this could have been like a story about like a bunch of different people, but they just like had it based on one person in this story.
Yeah. Frank Vogel, is that his name?
I don't think it was. No, it's not Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel's the freaking Lakers head coach, dude.
Okay, that's where I know that name from. What is his name? Something Vogel.
Oh my god, I can't remember what his name is.
I'll Google it, but I
just
thought it was
look
Frank.
at the cast; it'll tell you his name. Frank Vogel's the head coach of the Lakers. It's something.
Yeah, that's how I know that name. Because I knew Vogel. I'm like, is that who I think it is? Lloyd Vogel.
Lloyd Vogel or Fogel?
Vogel. Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, I thought I heard that name somewhere. I guess that's where I heard it. I didn't even know.
Yeah, I haven't watched Mr. Rogers, like the actual show, in forever, so I didn't really remember what it looked like and stuff.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, what the like opening of the show and everything looked like. But they freaking did it at the beginning, dude. I don't remember them like paneling up over the city like that.
What do you,
Like
like
they showed Pittsburgh from like the point.
yeah.
Like the view, the best view you can have, dude.
Yeah.
And then they paneled to New York City at the end of the scene at the beginning.
Yeah. I think it's funny how they like go city to city in like the claymation or
Yeah.
whatever that is.
Like they show him driving across I guess it's the Manhattan Bridge or something.
Yeah.
And then they like in the claymation thing, they show the cars driving across the bridge when
Yeah.
they're in the taxi.
Mm. The last show of Mr. Rogers was aired on August 31st of 2001.
2001. I didn't think he went that long.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. We must have watched him for a while. How long did he make the show for, though? Like from the 70s on? Or like 60s or whatever? Because they showed episodes of it in black and white on the freaking movie. Like when he was rewatching
yeah.
episodes of the show.
February 19th, 1968 was the first.
68. Huh. Damn.
That's like a solid 33 years.
70, 80, 90, yeah.
I'll check my math.
Jesus God. 33 years of making a TV show, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
Especially a TV show that's not, like, really about anything in particular.
Yeah, it's just
Like,
about whatever
he
he
talks about different people all the time.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, like, they showed the... they had Mr. McFeely come in, dude.
Oh, yeah,
I never noticed how, like, suspect of a character that
Yeah.
was until, like, you mentioned it.
He's so weird.
And, like, Mr. McFeely.
Yeah.
With the pedo stash.
Oh my gosh.
No, but I mean, like, shit, dude. Mr. Rogers couldn't have been capable of pulling off any type of scheme like Bill Cosby does.
Yeah.
or like kid-wise with Bill Cosby. There's no way, dude. I mean, like, freaking Mr. Rogers was like the most genuine person in the history of the world, I think. Dude.
Probably.
Like, if they ever found anything or like ever brought up anything about that dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
If they ever did something stupid, like they've done with like every other person in the world.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I like how they show like his like genuine interactions and like the way that he like worked with himself like mentally wise instead of taking out his anger on people and stuff. He just went and like swam in the pool, or he said he hits all the low keys on the piano at the same time.
Yeah.
And then he does it at the end of the movie, which is I guess it's because he's sad because Lloyd's dad died.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it's crazy how he like became like a friend with somebody that was like that like despised him kind of like earlier on. I mean, like, he didn't hate him, but like when he started to ask him questions and stuff, he got pissed off. He's like, I'm not doing this anymore. He's like, we're done, and then he left.
Yeah.
And then the next time he comes back, like Mr. Rogers.
I think that's so funny because like people are like, oh, why can't people be nice? But when somebody's actually nice to you, get fucking annoyed like with them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, people do because you try to dig on people and they don't want to tell you anything.
It's
Dude.
like, fuck.
People want to keep their whole life private.
Yeah.
Screw that, dude.
Everything public. I'm posting what I eat every morning.
Mr. Rogers could have been a freaking therapist, though.
Probably.
That's pretty much what he was, though. Dude.
Yeah.
He's
a national therapist on
for
TV.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, shit, I didn't even remember much from the show, though, like, until we saw the movie.
Yeah.
And then you remember some of the things that he did on the show.
Yeah.
Like, and I honestly didn't even notice or know that he, like, manned the puppets for real, dude. Like, I thought other people did the puppet shows. But, like, he did that, and then, did he actually do the picture thing on the show where he opened up and showed you people?
Yeah, I remember that
pictures?
specifically.
I didn't know he did that. And he's like, I'm gonna tell you about my friend Lloyd.
Yeah.
He has a picture of him after he got punched in the face.
Yeah. I don't even know how you got a picture.
I think that's the picture he took, wasn't it? When they were after the first time they talked, because he still had that mark on his face.
Yeah, it wasn't like as bad. They showed like the face he made.
Yeah, when he got
night.
hit. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I thought Tom Hanks played Mr. Rogers pretty well with like all of his mannerisms and like how he does certain things. Like it's
so weird, like how like how like perfect he did that too.
Mhm.
Like everything, like the facial expressions, the freaking like,
Yeah.
oh my god, like the way he freaking did the intro to the show too.
Mhm.
Same exact, like, you know, how he zipped up the jacket and
Yeah.
everything, how he took his shoes off and like, you know,
He,
held
like,
it there,
tossed it.
tossed it to the other hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, that it was like on point. I wonder how long it took them to film that, like just the opening of that right
Yeah.
there.
I don't know.
Like
I
because
mean,
you'd think it would take like a days and days of practice probably to get that perfect
I feel like
that.
I feel like good actors pick up on things quickly.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, like just simple things like tossing the shoe across and him dropping it, like not
Mhm.
catching it with his other hand,
Yeah.
or like him like not, or like trying to look at the shoe and catching it, and then like not like looking at the camera and doing what he's supposed to be doing and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you know how jackets are, dude. You might get the zipper stuck or something
Yeah.
when you're zipping it up, dude. I wonder how long it took them to like film that shit.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if they just filmed it in pieces and just like put it together.
No, I feel like it wouldn't be fluid.
I guess not.
You have to do that all in one shot.
Yeah. That's crazy. Jeez, if you can't tell, I'm fucking stuffed up.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's getting sick now. Did you hear like 246 people died of the flu?
The flu?
Yeah, and like just
Shit.
the eastern seaboard alone, like 7 different states. It's like
What the hell was this?
Like that was reported today.
Holy crap.
And then there's like dozens of infants that's like died too because of it.
No, those are like infants and older people are the people that are most vulnerable to the flu.
Yeah.
But shit, I don't even want to say anything about it, dude.
What?
Anything about the flu.
Oh yeah.
Not jinxing myself.
Yeah, but that's why I got some tea. But also you have to think Tom Hanks played Forrest Gump, one of the most iconic characters in cinematic history.
Yeah.
So I think honestly, not trying to play it up too high, but I think this might be one of Tom Hanks' other iconic characters in his career.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's an actual, like, real person that he
Yeah.
portrayed, so,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like,
He
that,
may win a Grammy. You know, a Grammy,
Like a Oscar.
Oscar, yeah.
I mean, I think he should be nominated for one. Did he get nominated? Or did they not do the nominations for that yet? Because that's around the same time the Grammys are, I think.
Oh, really?
Like, it's either right at the end of January or, like, early February, I think.
I'm not sure. I can Google it probably.
Probably right. I think it's right around the same time they do the Grammys. And, because they were saying, I keep seeing stuff about Robert Downey Jr.
February 9th.
February 9th. So it's like the same week as the Grammys or a week after or something.
Yeah.
But, I keep seeing things about Robert Downey Jr. or about people wanting him to be nominated for a Grammy not Grammy, an Oscar for Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess like he's not getting real like hype about it. I mean, like people aren't, or like, you know, the committee and stuff isn't giving much hype toward him.
Swear to God.
But like, you know, Kevin Feige and stuff are trying to get people riled up about it so they can get him in there. I don't think he would win though if he got nominated.
No, just
Because like a superhero movie is not something that you see win for best actor or whatever.
Yeah.
At the Oscars, like that's not something that you usually see.
forget the Endgame should win like or be a runner for movie of the year.
I'm trying to think what else would be. Because there hasn't been that many like big time box office hits this year.
Yeah. Oh,
The Joker.
Joker. Yeah, Joker's probably gonna win.
That would probably win.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
Like even though how big, I mean, like how like influential the Mr. Rogers film is and everything, and Tom Hanks is the actor in it, I still don't think that was like a huge like box office hit compared to like, you know, like other movies.
Yeah. Yeah, did it do well in the box office?
I don't know.
I
I don't
think it
think it
did.
was that huge because Frozen dropped like the same time, dude.
Frozen's
so-
out? Oh yeah, there was a freaking machete fight at Frozen.
Yeah, I think they
2's.
both dropped on the same week or something, or like a week apart from each other, so that kind of screwed it. That was like a bad time to drop it, I think. And like I wonder how many people outside of like this area actually, you know, like watched it.
First day, it got like over 5.2 million.
That's it.
Thursday night previous, it debuted at 13.5.
See, I figured it didn't do that much.
And its second week made 11.8.
Yeah, that's what I saw the other day on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's not too much, really.
Yeah, I mean, like, but I mean, like, it might still get nominated for stuff just because of the type of film it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, shit, Frozen shouldn't be nominated for Oscars. There's nothing like real, and that's a kids film, like, or a kids show, or a kids movie. Jesus. Kids movie. But I mean, like, something like The Joker, because it deals with mental health and stuff. Mr. Rogers deals with, like, making the world a better place.
The Joker is definitely not for, like, the weak stomach. They're, like, weak-hearted, like.
I mean, like, it deals with, like, someone that has a serious, like, mental illness.
Oh yeah, but like, I talked to like many people, and like one guy told me he watched all the movies.
Why?
Because he said, or almost watched it. He said he saw.
It wasn't even that gory, besides like a few parts, dude.
Oh, fuck, I don't
like
know.
all the worst part of the entire movie wasn't even when Robert De Niro got shot in the head, dude.
Oh, spoiler.
Huh?
Spoiler.
Oh, jeez, come on. I think people.
Yeah, but I think it's all the movies, right?
Either it is or it's very close to being out of theaters.
Sorry, people.
But no, I think the most gory part was when he stabbed the dude in his apartment.
He smashed his head off the wall 37 times.
Oh, they didn't even show that, dude. They just showed the blood spatter.
Mm.
So you didn't even really see that. So that's not that bad. Like, there's been much worse. Worse happens on American Horror Story, a damn TV show, dude.
Yeah.
They actually show people get their guts ripped out and shit on that shit.
That's crazy.
So I mean, like, I'm not against them showing people getting their heads slammed against the wall in a movie. Like, that stuff happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I wonder. I don't know what kind of movie categories they do at the Oscars because I don't watch it because it's like one of the most boring award shows in the history of award shows. But I'd like to see like Tom Hanks get nominated for an Oscar. Maybe the movie get nominated for something. And I just like enjoyed how they did it though. I thought they were gonna like do something dumb, like just a documentary that only talked about him and didn't talk about other people.
Yeah.
But yeah, like how they did it from a different perspective and like somebody that he actually impacted.
Yeah.
And like they show different like aspects, like somebody that he impacted, but somebody also witnessing him impacting others also, instead of just just a single person the whole movie.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was it's interesting to see it from that perspective because you know how like they started and where they went, like the character progression was like pretty good and stuff like that, like how they
how he hated his dad at the beginning, and then Mr. Rogers taught him to forgive people for things that I think
it's the first thing he talks about when the movie opens.
Oh yeah, that's he said this episode or like whatever, we're gonna talk about forgiveness or something, he said.
Yeah.
At the beginning. I knew exactly what was gonna happen from the beginning of the movie. I'm not taking points off of it. Because like that, you could tell that's where the movie was going. Like after he got punched by his dad and his dad was sitting outside of his apartment, I'm like, oh, his dad's gonna die and this is gonna turn real dark real quick. Or his dad's gonna get sick or something. This is gonna turn dark, dude. And then he had a heart attack like 30 minutes later. I'm like, shit, or whatever. He had a heart attack or a stroke or whatever the hell.
He had a heart attack, yeah.
I'm like, shit, dude. I like you could see it coming from a million miles away, like what was gonna happen, because he said about forgiveness. And his dad, then they got in that fight at the wedding. Then his dad gets there. Then his dad gets sick. I'm like, oh geez, this is going downhill real quick. But I mean, like it was a pretty like emotional movie at points, and like that one part when they were sitting in the restaurant and having lunch or whatever, and he's like, let's have a moment of silence for all the people who who made it, who created us or whatever, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or who love us or something, you said. And like the everybody in the restaurant.
Yeah, it was quiet.
Sat their stuff down and got quiet and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
He didn't even say it out loud either.
No. But people just started looking at him and then they all got quiet. I was like, Jesus. Mr. Rogers owned the city. Dude.
Yeah, that's funny.
he was probably royalty, dude.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember like seeing that much stuff about him on the news and everything. Like before he died, but like I don't remember people saying Mr. Rogers was at this event today and shit.
He's on the late night show.
Was he on it?
Yeah. I just when I was.
It's like what? Who was it back then? David Letterman or Jay Leno or something.
It was David Letterman.
What was it? But they should. What show was he on with the black guy?
I think it was. Who else did you say?
I don't know. I said Jay Leno. It wasn't
Jay Leno.
It wasn't Jay Leno.
Yes,
The
it
guy
was.
was the other. The guy was interviewing him.
Huh?
The black guy was interviewing him.
Oh, you mean when he put the jacket on? Peace. Have a positive and productive day. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. If you're listening to the podcast, it would mean the world to us if you gave us a rate and review. Subscribe to the podcast as well, so you're first to know when we release new episodes. Be sure to download the podcast to help us out. If you're watching the podcast on YouTube, the full-length podcast is in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe as well. Check us out on all of our social media. Our Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat are all official SSOL. Again, that is OFFICIALSSOL. That is on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. And you can find us at Secret Spice of Life on Facebook. Don't forget to check out our website and blog. New blog every Wednesday, and potentially some bonus blogs throughout each week. Be sure to check out our Patreon as well, because for 2019 and every year coming, we are going to monetize our Patreon for charity. So anything that is donated to our charity tier on there will be donated to a charity of your choosing or our choosing by the end of the year or every 6 months or so. But yeah, make sure to donate to that to give back to other people. And as always, have a positive and productive day.
Welcome to some shit that's considered legendary.